Take my headphones out, I plug it into the airplane ones, and they're talking about some new heart scan. I get emotional about this new heart scan. It's some place in Cedars-Sinai in LA. I'm like, babe, when we get back, book it. I need to do it. She's like, why? You're 30, you're in good shape. I go, I'm not in good shape. I'm working like crazy. I eat Taco Bell all the time late at night after all my meetings. Just get this thing scanned. She's like, okay, cool. She calls, it's a 6-month wait. I go, nope. I call back. I go, you don't understand something. I think I'm dying. I'm serious. You need to get me in. I'll wait there all day. She's like, well, we'll put you on the wait list. I go, I'm going to call you every day. I called her the next day. You're on the wait list. The next day, she calls me. We have a cancellation at 1 o'clock if you can be here. I said, sure. I go down. Here's how it works. You do the scan, then you take a break. You come back. They review it. I went and ate a burrito. No joke. I come back in. My doctor understood influence. Listen to me. What do most doctors do? Hey, here's the facts. You got to do this. Take this Lipitor. Here's some Ramipril, and good to go. That's what most people do when they buy deals. It's just facts when they're trying to get an investor. Here's the facts. Here's the math. Great influencers understand it's a transfer of energy. Great influence understand getting leverage on people. Pain if they don't do it. Pleasure if they do. All kinds of people pursue me to buy real estate with them. All kinds of people looking at me to invest. And that one guy you think you're going to get to be your partner, he gets called all the time. The difference is going to be you persuade him, which I just put a video out this week actually. And so he came back into the lobby. He knew exactly who I was. There was 2 people in the lobby. He comes back in. He goes, the doctor walks in the lobby. He goes, I'm looking for Edward Milet. He's since passed away. Actually, ironically, this is no exaggeration. He passed away yesterday, David Haig. So he goes, I go, I'm Edward Milet. He goes, yeah. He goes, wow. Already getting leverage on me. He goes, I can't believe these arteries are in that young a body. He goes, you need to come back with me, son. I'm like, oh, okay. We walk back. He sits down. Now, what could he have done? Here's your scan. Here's the property. Here's the comps. It's not what he did. He sits down. He puts the folder down next to him. He goes, son, let me ask you a question.
Discipline, those unique steps of intelligent thought and activity that put a lid on temper and a faucet on courtesy, that develop positive and control negative, that encourage success and deter failure, that design lifestyle and control frustration, that enhance health and curb sickness, that promote happiness and manage sadness. Discipline, the start and the continuing process that brings all good things. And remember, anyone can start the process. It's not if I could, I would. It's if I would, I could. If I will, I can. So start the new process. You can begin a new habit no matter how small it is. Small isn't important. Whether or not you start and whether or not you continue are all that is important. And don't be deluded by an affirmation. Only affirm what you are truly prepared to do. Many of us delude ourselves with our words into believing that we're making changes and making progress when in fact our daily activity is taking us in the exact opposite direction of our affirmation. Why would you walk in the opposite direction of your dreams? The man dreams of wealth and walks daily towards certain financial disaster. The man wishes for happiness and thinks the thoughts and commits the acts that take him to certain despair. So to have a prosperous life, start a prosperity plan. To become wealthy, start a wealth plan. Remember, you don't have to be wealthy to have a wealth plan. A person with no means can have a rich plan. If you are ill, start a health plan. If you don't have energy, start an energy plan. If you don't feel good, start a feel-good plan. If you're not smart, start a smart plan. If you can't, start a can plan. If you haven't, start a have plan. Anyone can. Even a bad person can start hearing good messages and reading good books. Recognize that the start of the better life, the happy life, the wealthy life is today. This is exciting. Both the process and the result can begin today. Start the new journey today. If you think of a new idea, today is the day to begin the discipline of putting that idea into action.
I was doing a training at a college, and it was a 2-day training during orientation. And in the training that I provide, I'm a motivational speaker, but I conduct processes in personal dynamics where people begin to go through changes that stimulate the right and left hemisphere of the brain, enable them to see themselves differently. I conducted this particular simulation with these young kids, 17 and 18 years of age, so that they would begin to see how they make decisions and how they would survive in this particular simulation process we gave them. We had them to do it individually and then collectively. Over 30% of them wrote down as their first option, in order to survive, they would commit suicide. First thing they wrote down. Suicide among young people has increased 300%. Over 5,000 will successfully take their lives this year. Why? Why did they do that? I said, I was so shocked. I said, what do you mean? Well, at least we would not suffer. And then they had the nerve to write down all of the other things they were going to do after they committed suicide. I said, listen, Kadumbo. Now, when you come up with a permanent solution for a temporary problem, that's it. Game's over. That's it. You're not going to do anything. Anybody wrote suicide at the top, you can put your pencil down. See, a lot of us, because of our limited vision of ourselves, a lot of us who begin to focus on problems and enable them to overwhelm us, we begin to think that we have no options. We begin to believe that there's no way out. Repeat after me, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, I'm unstoppable. You've got to make those kind of declarations to yourself. I'm unstoppable. This will not get me down. And if I get knocked down, I'm going to be like Leo Pascal. You said you're going to have some low moments in life, but when you do, you will have high lows when you work on yourself.
So another thing that'll do it is getting rid of drudgeries. Who here loves to pay for shit you don't want to do? Right? Cleaning the toilet. Who likes to have someone else be able to do that if at all possible, right? Because once you do that, those drudgeries are gone. What do you get to do? You have time. And with time, you can spend more time with your passions, the things that matter for you that you can do in the world, that share in the world. And the third thing that gives people the most enjoyment out of money, just so you know, is actually giving it away. And nobody believes that until you do it. Now, if you don't give a dime out of a dollar, you're not going to give 100 million out of a billion ever. Don't kid yourself. The places start wherever we are. And if you do, I think you can find there's enormous enjoyment in that process. And I think you'll also find if there's somebody you love, you do something for, it's even more. So that's why I'm here. And I want to now make sure in the time that you're here, let's kick this in gear and let's talk about 3 things that can truly change the quality of your life. Number 1, first of all, if you make new decisions about to focus on, try this just for a moment. Just for a second, take a deep breath in. Exhale and give it a moan. That was really pathetic. Let's try that again. Deep breath in, then make it a sexual moan and thoroughly enjoy it. Oh, that was much longer and deeper. I like that. That was good. One more time. Use deep breath in and give it a moan. Now, one of the things that I want to talk to you about here tonight, this afternoon, is really simple. And that is, everyone here is in business, and there's a problem that all businesses have. We're in the most competitive environment we've ever been in. We went from, 500 million people being online to a couple billion people being online. And in the next 4 years, they're saying we're going to have 3 billion more online. That means this entire world is a bigger market. If you're the person that adds more value, it also means you're going to have more competitors than you've ever seen in your life.
I mean, it's breaking loose, and I worked in a smorgasbord where you had to have stuff ready fast, and if you had grease on the floor, you didn't have time to clean it up. You threw salt on it, stepped over it, you had to go. There were no chairs in the kitchen, because restaurant managers don't have like chairs, lazy boy chairs, and C-SPAN and stuff for you to watch. No, they didn't intend for you to sit down. You had to do the hustle. All that goes on in the kitchen, all the messes in the kitchen, all the yelling, the screaming, and the personality. issues are worked out in the kitchen. You get cussed out, not cursed. That's biblical. You get cussed out.
Do you have children? I said, I do. I have a son. How old is he? I said, he's 2. He goes, no more. I said, well, my wife's 8 months pregnant with a little girl. What's her name going to be? I said, Bella. He goes, oh, beautiful in Italian. I said, yes, sir. He goes, do you want to walk her down the aisle on her wedding day? I went, what? He goes, look at me. Are you interested in being the man who walks her down the aisle on her wedding day? Yeah. He goes, your son going to graduate someday? I said, yeah. He goes, you want to be there for graduation? I said, yeah. He goes, they tell me your wife's quite a looker. You got a couple bucks. He goes, how you feel about some burly construction worker every morning having breakfast in your mansion with those kiddos of yours? I went, what the fuck is in that scan? Right? And he goes, I want to be very clear with you, young man. If you continue to go down this road you're going with your diet, you're working out, the way you do things, you won't be there for her wedding. Someone else can be in that house here someday. But if you do with what I'm about to tell you, you'll be there for all that stuff and live a very long time. I'm going to give you exactly the workouts, exactly the nutrition, exactly the medication, which will change over time, but I'm going to give you exactly what you need to do. Are you willing to do it? And I said, yes. Then he delivered his prescription, and it changed my life.